It's all lies. Eamonn Holmes blasts Rachel Reeves for tax rises. GB News host Eamonn Holmes has launched a blistering attack on Chancellor Rachel Reeves, accusing her of dishonesty over her tax policy. In a furious rant, Holmes said, "They say that they plan to have more tax rises in the next 5 years. Now they realize, blooming heck, we can't do it, so they ease it. It's all lies." His comments come as the Chancellor faces mounting criticism over her recent budget decisions, which included significant tax increases for businesses. Yesterday, Reeves appeared at the Confederation of British Industry (CBI) conference, where she said she would not implement any further tax rises. Reeves made a firm commitment against another hike, stating, "I'm not coming back with more borrowing or more taxes. We've put our public finances back on a firm footing, and we've now set the budgets for public services for the duration of this parliament." Adding to Eamonn's comments, co-host Isabel Webster said, "Well, the IT newspaper concluded, if they're saying there's no tax rises and businesses are saying that all of your measures mean there's going to be no growth, what's the answer? It's cuts. They concluded that there'll be austerity for 2026, which would be ironic." Political commentator Alex Armstrong explained, "They will have to be cuts, because what happens when you lose the businesses is that all the millionaires leaves the country and the tax revenues go down, not up. You've got to have a sensible approach to this. We've seen that the pound has gone down by 7%. He added, "We're seeing a poor, slow fallout from the budget. The damage it's going to do will mean that you can't raise taxes because you'll do even more damage." At the CBI conference, Reeves insisted that public services would need to live within their means between now and the next election, expected no earlier than 2028. The Chancellor emphasized that she had wiped the slate clean to stabilize public finances and services. Reeves' maiden budget included substantial tax increases totaling £40 billion, with a significant £25 billion hike in the employer's rate of national insurance. Reeves has strongly defended her budget decisions as unavoidable. "If I hadn't made those difficult decisions, then we wouldn't have been able to bring the stability back to the economy that is desperately needed," she told the CBI conference. The Chancellor insisted the £22 billion black hole in public finances needed to be addressed. "I faced a problem, and I faced into it, and we have now drawn a line under the fiction peddled by the previous government," she stated. Veteran broadcaster Eamonn Holmes has slammed Labour's shadow chancellor, Rachel Reeves, over her proposed tax rises, calling them lies, and accusing her of misleading the British public about the economic policies her party would pursue if elected. Holmes, speaking on his morning talk show, took aim at Reeves' comments regarding the Labour Party's economic strategy. The row centers around a series of tax hikes suggested by Reeves, including plans to increase corporate tax and higher rates for high earners, as part of Labour's proposed agenda to address the UK's rising national debt. Holmes, known for his outspoken and often controversial opinions, didn't hold back in his criticism. "Rachel Reeves is telling the British public a pack of lies. She wants to raise taxes on everyone, from businesses to individuals, under the false promise that this will somehow fix the economy. It's nonsense," he said. "This is exactly what the Labour Party does every time they're in opposition. They say they can solve everything by taxing people more. It's a flawed strategy." The comment came after Reeves, during an interview on a rival morning program, defended Labour's plans to increase taxes for the wealthiest individuals and corporations, arguing that the wealthiest have a moral duty to contribute more to the country's finances. She also dismissed accusations that the proposed increases could harm the economy, claiming that the extra revenue would go towards public services like healthcare, education, and social care. Reeves, who has been Labour's shadow chancellor since 2020, has been at the forefront of the party's economic debate. She has often criticized the Conservative government's handling of public finances and its austerity measures, calling for a more equitable approach to taxation and public spending. The Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has also voiced support for these tax policies, arguing they are essential for building a fairer, more prosperous Britain. However, Holmes' outburst has added fuel to the fire in an already heated political debate. On social media, he doubled down on his accusations, claiming that Labour's proposals would only lead to higher costs for ordinary people. "If they get in, this country will see tax hikes across the board, mark my words," he tweeted. Reeves is using high-sounding rhetoric to cover up what is essentially a money grab. In response, Labour supporters have rallied behind Reeves, defending her stance on the need for higher taxes to address long-standing inequality and ensure public services are properly funded. Some argue that Holmes' remarks are typical of the media establishment's tendency to oppose Labour's economic policies, especially when it involves taxing the rich. Politicians across the spectrum have weighed in on the issue. Conservative MP and former Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, expressed concern over the Labour plans, saying that raising taxes during a period of economic uncertainty could dampen growth and discourage investment. In times like these, we need to be cautious about increasing the tax burden, Osborne warned. It could have unintended consequences. Others, however, have pointed out that taxes for the wealthy and corporations remain historically low in the UK, and that significant investment in public services is necessary to tackle rising inequality and poverty levels. The Institute for Fiscal Studies, IFS, a leading think tank, has also weighed in, suggesting that while higher taxes may be necessary, careful consideration needs to be given to how they are implemented to avoid stifling economic growth. For now, the debate continues to rage, with Holmes' outburst adding fuel to the fire. Whether or not the Labour Party's tax proposals will be seen as a political liability or a necessary step towards economic fairness remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the war of words between Eamonn Holmes and Rachel Reeves is far from over. Public reactions and media backlash. Holmes' comments have sparked a wide range of reactions across social media platforms. Supporters of the broadcaster applauded his candidness, with many agreeing that Reeves' proposed policies could burden taxpayers and businesses. Eamonn is right, Labour's tax rises will make everything more expensive, one user tweeted. On the other hand, Labour supporters criticized Holmes for what they described as a misleading attack. Eamonn is simply fearmongering, one comment read. The reality is that tax rises for the rich are needed to reduce inequality and fund vital public services. Several political commentators have suggested that Holmes' attack is part of a broader trend of media figures challenging the Labour Party's economic proposals, particularly in light of the upcoming general election. With the political landscape growing increasingly polarized, it seems likely that this battle over tax rises will be a central issue in the run-up to the vote. Conclusion. Eamonn Holmes' blistering critique of Rachel Reeves and her tax policies has ignited yet another chapter in the ongoing debate over how best to address the UK's financial challenges. As both sides dig in their heels, the question remains whether Labour's tax proposals will resonate with the British public, or whether the opposition's fears about job losses, business closures, and economic stagnation will win out. With the next general election fast approaching, the tax debate looks set to play a key role in shaping the country's future economic direction.